Hey soccer families, it's Tomek from Soccer Bedtime Stories. I've got some big news to share. Our first ever chapter book is here. Soccer Mystery Chronicles: The Haunting of St. Mary's Stadium. It's available now on Amazon worldwide. It's a spooky, heart-pounding adventure about two sisters who moved to England and uncovered ghostly secrets haunting their hometown soccer club. Perfect for young readers who love soccer, mystery, and magic under the floodlights. It's available now on Amazon. But here's the best part. If you join the Bedtime Ballers today, link in the show notes, you'll get a free signed copy delivered straight to your home, and you'll get so much more. You will help to keep this podcast ad-free and full of imagination for kids everywhere. Don't miss this. Join now. The soccer mystery awaits. I hope you enjoy today's story. Sleep well and dream big, soccer friends. Hello there, soccer friend. Before we begin tonight's journey, let's take a slow breath in. Let it out gently. Snuggle under our blankets, get cozy, and prepare to drift into a story full of dreams, soccer, and magic. Tonight, we'll walk alongside one of the greatest players the world has ever known, Zinedine Zidane. His journey begins in the crowded apartments of Marseille, a neighborhood full of noise and struggle, and carries us all the way to the grandest stadiums in the world, where the grass is green and the crowds are loud, where every cheer and every chant rises like a song. From the quiet square of Castellane to the shining lights of World Cup finals and Champions League glory, Zinedine's story is one of magic, resilience, and dreams coming true. Listen closely, soccer friend, because at the very end of tonight's story, we're going to try something new. I ask you 3 questions about Zinedine Zidane. Think of it as a little bedtime quiz, maybe to think about while you sleep. Just for fun, we're going to see what we remember about this great star. As we get started, a special shout out to our friend Johannes. Thank you for listening and dreaming with us. A story's for you too. Now let's go back to where it all began. In a neighborhood called La Castellane in Marseille, where a boy named Zinedine first found his magic with a ball. Icons. Zinedine Zidane. Zidane was born on June 23, 1972. The youngest of 5 children, his parents, Smile and Malika, had left their home in the Kabylie region of northern Algeria many years before, seeking a better life in France. They carried with them their language, their traditions, and their resilience. They settled in La Castellane, a neighborhood in the northern edge of Marseille. Now, this was not an easy place to grow up. The apartment blocks were tall and gray, the streets filled with stories both hopeful and heavy. Unemployment was high, and many families struggled to find steady work. Zidane's father, Smile, worked long overnight shifts as a department store watchman. His mother stayed home to raise the children. Their apartment was small, so small that all 7 family members couldn't even sit down at the table together for meals. But inside that tight space, love was abundant. Discipline, too. Zinedine at one point said his father was his guiding light, teaching him the value of hard work humility, and respect. At night, as his father left for work, Zidane sometimes lay awake, listening to the sounds of the neighborhood, dreaming of something different. He was the youngest, the smallest at the table, but his imagination was larger than life. Every afternoon after school, Zidane hurried to Place Tartane, the public square in the center of La Castellane. It was a narrow rectangle of pavement, about 80 yards long and 12 yards wide. But to the children of the neighborhood, it was a stadium, a stage, a place where legends could be born, the Stade de France. There, Zidane learned to dribble past bigger kids, to shield the ball, to glide with grace. His touch was soft, his balance perfect, even as the defenders tried to knock him off his feet. The ball became an extension of him, a friend who was always there. He watched football on television when he could, admiring players like Jean-Pierre Papin, Blas Sliskovic, and especially his hero, the elegant Uruguayan playmaker Enzo Francescoli. Zinedine later said Francescoli was his idol, the kind of player who made football look like art. By the age of 10, Zidane had his first official player's license with the local club US Saint-Honoré. After a year and a half, he moved to Septembre-le-Vent, where a coach recognized his unusual talent and encouraged him to keep pushing forward. When Zidane was 14, his life began to change. He was selected for the 3-day training camp at a regional sports center in Aix-en-Provence. There, an Aix-Can scout named Jean Veroud saw the boy from La Castellane and immediately knew this one had something special. For Zidane, football wasn't just a game. In those small moments, it was a pathway, a bridge from the crowded apartment and tough streets of Marseille to something bigger. And now, as a young teenager, Zidane left home for Cannes. Imagine it. A boy not yet grown, carrying his dreams like luggage. Waving goodbye to his family and neighborhood, he missed his parents, his siblings, and the comforting chaos of home. But he carried this determination with him. At Cannes, Zidane trained harder than ever, polished his technique, strengthened his vision of the game, and learned to use not just his feet, but his mind. He was quiet, reserved, but when the ball rolled his way, he spoke a language everyone understood. Football. Soccer. By 17, Zidane had joined the elite squad. At 19, he scored his first professional goal. The club president had made a promise when that first goal came. Zidane would be rewarded with a car. And so, he did. He received the keys to a little red Renault Clio. For many, it was just a car. For Zidane, it was proof that dreams could drive you forward. From Cannes, Zidane moved to Bordeaux, where his reputation as a playmaker grew. His passes sliced defenses open, his dribble left opponents off balance, and his calmness on the ball was unmatched. He didn't just play football, he painted a scene, created a story. Soon, Europe's biggest clubs took notice. In 1996, Juventus signed him. In Italy, Zidane won league titles, super cups, and respect. Italian football was known for its toughness, its defensive walls, its tactical battles. Yet Zidane found ways to bring beauty into that rigid landscape. He became known as the l'artiste, a player who could change a game with a flick, a spin, or a vision no one else could see. His elegance stood out in a world of rough tackles and gritty contests. He wasn't just a midfielder, he was a magician. His first international tournament was in 1996, the European Championships in England. But his fame, his introduction to the world at large, would come 2 years later. In the summer of 1998, the World Cup came to France. For Zidane, it was a chance to shine on home soil, representing the tricolor flag of blue, white, and red. France stormed through the tournament, reaching the final and facing the mighty Brazil. The Stade de France was packed, millions of people watching around the world, and on that night, Zidane's head became France's crown. Zidane would score twice that night, 2 powerful headers that crashed into the net and set the stadium into rapture. By the final whistle, France were not only world champions for the very first time. The streets of Paris overflowed with joy, chants echoing late into night. Zizou, Zizou. In that moment, Zidane wasn't just a boy from the Castellane. He was a national hero, a symbol of unity, a bridge between cultures. France awarded him the Legion of Honor, its highest decoration. And for countless children in Marseille and beyond, Zidane became proof that dreams from the square could reach the stars. In 2001, Zidane moved to Real Madrid in Spain for a then world record transfer fee of €77.5 million. The pressure was immense, but Zidane thrived in the famous white shirt. The pinnacle came in the 2002 UEFA Champions League final against Bayern Leverkusen. The score was tied 1-1 when a looping cross fell from the sky towards Zidane at the edge of the penalty area. Time paused. With his weaker left foot, Zidane swung. The ball met his boot perfectly, flying like a comet into the top corner of the net. It was a goal so beautiful, so pure, that it is still considered one of the greatest in football history. For Zidane, it was another masterpiece. The boy from the Pala Tartane had painted the night sky of Glasgow with a stroke of brilliance. By 2006, Zidane would announce that he was ready to retire. But first, there was one last tournament, the World Cup in Germany. France were not favorites, but Zidane led them with elegance and determination. He scored a cheeky penalty against Portugal, gliding the ball into the net with calm confidence. In the final against Italy, he scored another penalty, chipping the ball high into the goal, a move known as a panenka. But then came the moment that the world remembers with mixed emotions. In extra time, Zidane and Italian defender Marco Materazzi exchanged words. Materazzi insulting Zidane's family, his mom. Frustration boiled over and Zidane headbutted Materazzi in the chest. The referee showed him a red card. His final act on a football pitch was a dismissal. France lost on penalties. The now infamous picture as Zidane walked past the World Cup trophy, head bowed. Yet even in that ending, the bitter ending, his greatness was undimmed. He was named the tournament's best player, winning the Golden Ball. It was the final flame of a career defined by brilliance and passion, triumph and imperfection. After hanging up his boots, Zidane could have disappeared into a quiet life. Instead, he returned to football as a mentor, a leader, and eventually a coach. In 2016, he took charge of Real Madrid's first team. What followed was an unprecedented 3 consecutive Champions League titles, 2 World Cups, 2 UEFA Super Cups, and 2 La Liga crowns. No coach had ever achieved what Zidane did in such a short time. As a coach, Zidane carried the same calmness, the same belief, the same artistry, only now from the sidelines. His players respected him not just because he was once great, but because he understood them, guided them, and led with humility. And so, my friend, the story of Zinedine Zidane is one of contrasts and beauty. From a crowded apartment in Marseille to the floodlights of the world's greatest stadiums. From the rough pavement of Castellane to the glory of World Cups and Champions League, Zidane's journey reminds us that where you begin is only part of your story. What matters is the discipline you learn, the dreams you chase, and the artistry you bring to whatever you love. Zidane was not perfect, none of us are, but he showed that even in imperfection there can be greatness. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the sound of a ball bouncing in a narrow square, the laughter of children playing, and the dream of a boy who became a legend. But before we say goodnight, let's see how much you remember from Zidane's story. I'll ask 3 quick questions. Take a moment to think, and you can send us the answers on Instagram or leave it in the comments or wait until the end of the story to get your answers. And if you don't remember, it's okay. You can even listen again to help you remember. Are you ready? Question 1. Where did Zidane grow up and first play football in the square with his friends? Question 2. In the 1998 World Cup final, Zidane scored twice with what part of his body? Question 3. What amazing goal did Zidane score in the 2002 Champions League final for Real Madrid? Think hard, my friend. Now you can drift off to sleep, carrying Zidane's story with you. Sleep well and dream big, soccer friends. Are you ready for the answers? Question 1. Where did Zidane grow up and first play football in the square with his friends? In La Castellane, a neighborhood in Marseille, France, and at the Palais d'Ardennes Square. Question 2. In the 1998 World Cup final, Zidane scored twice with what part of his body? The answer? With his head. 2 powerful headers against the mighty Brazil. In question 3, what amazing goal did Zidane score in the 2000 Champions League final for Real Madrid? A game I remember watching with my friend Andy at the University of Wisconsin. He scored a left-foot volley into the top corner, one of the greatest goals in football history. Sleep well. And don't forget to send us your answers either through Instagram or leave it in the comments. Adios. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting journey through the world of Soccer Bedtime Stories. As we reach the end of this episode, I want to express my gratitude for your presence and support. Your engagement means the world to us, and we invite you to become an integral part of our vibrant community. Make sure to subscribe and follow. This will not only keep the magic alive, but also help shape the stories we bring to you. We're eager to hear your feedback, suggestions, and the topics that ignite your passion. Feel free to reach out to us at soccerbedtimestories@gmail.com. Together we'll create a community that celebrates the magic of the beautiful game. Now, sleep well and dream big, soccer friends.